Good evening. All right, thank you, Lily. My twin sister. So, it is Thursday night. Another AA meeting tonight. At least I didn't try to fall asleep and have to be reminded an hour late. Or actually, that was an hour and a half late that time. Because I was just going to go to bed. Completely forgot. And it was my sponsor's birthday. 14th sobriety birthday. And I completely spaced it all that night. And I was just going to go to bed. But I'm here tonight. So I'll wait a couple minutes and let people come join if they want to. They don't have to. If you're new here, you're welcome to be in the chat if you want, but you don't have to be. And that's the best thing about doing these meetings is you don't have to be seen. I did put in the comments, I put the link for you to come on panel if you would like to. That's completely up to you as well. All you do is just click on it and it will ask you to go to join the live stream, and then you'll pop up in my basement, which is down at the bottom of my screen, and I can bring you up and you can share some of your story if you'd like to, but once again, you don't have to. So I'm Sandra and I'm an alcoholic. Please be kind with the people in your chat. Don't go and harass their pages. Be judgment free in this area. The rest of the videos, as long as they're not AA videos, you can say whatever. Just don't be too rude, because you'll get blocked. But either way, just be mindful of people in the chat. Just because they're there in the chat doesn't mean that they are the alcoholic. I have friends that come in and just want to know basic things and suggestions on ways that they can approach their family member or a friend on how to get the help that they need without stepping on too many toes or being harassing and stuff like that. So, but what I do is I just read out the book and I share part of my story that reflects what we're reading. But with that, like I said, my name's Sandra and I'm an alcoholic, and we're going to go ahead and get the meeting going. So, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I do put in the description, which would be in the more area. If you push the more that's under the video, if you're watching the replay, it'll pop up with the book and what we're reading and all of that. So anyways, I get my steps and traditions out of the 12 Steps, 12 Traditions book in the front. I know the steps by heart, so I do refer to them sometimes when I forget if I read that one or not. So, because I do a lot of reading. So, just so you know. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our life over the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So my sister did my nails yesterday and it's peeling off. Sorry, sis. All right, so we're in the big book and I have the 4th edition, so it might be on a different page for you guys, depending on what edition you have. So we're on chapter 5, Into Action. Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and to discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted certain defects. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory. Now these are about to be cast out. This requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the 5th step in the program of recovery mentioned in the preceding chapter. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. We think we have done well enough to admit these things to ourselves. There is doubt about that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. We will be more reconciled to discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reason why we should do so. The best reason first. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. Trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. We think the reason is that they knew or that they never completed their house cleaning. They took inventory all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their egoism and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves. But they had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty in the sense we find it necessary until they told someone else all their life story. More than most people, the alcoholic leads a double life. He is very much the actor. To the outer world, he presents his stage character. This is the one he likes his fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in his heart that he doesn't deserve it. The inconsistency is made worse by the things he does on his sprees. Coming to his senses, he is revolted at certain episodes as he vaguely remembers. These memories are a nightmare. He trembles to think something or someone might have observed him. As fast as he can, he pushes these memories far inside himself. He hopes they will never see the light of day. He is under constant fear and tension. That makes for more drinking. Psychologists, don't know why those words are so hard, are inclined to agree with us. We have spent thousands of dollars for examinations. We know but few instances where we have given these doctors a fair break. We have seldom told them the whole truth, nor have we followed their advice. Unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men, we were honest with no one else. Small wonder many in the medical profession have a low opinion of alcoholics and their chance for recovery. We must be entirely honest with somebody if we expect to live long or happily in this world. Rightly and naturally, we think well before we choose the person or persons with whom to take this intimate and confidential step. Those of us belong to a religious denomination, which requires confession. I lost my thought. And of course, we will want to go to the properly appointed authority whose duty it is to receive it. Though we will have no religious connection, we may still do well to talk with someone or ordained by an established religion We often find such a person quick to see and understand our problem. Of course, we sometimes encounter people who do not understand alcoholics. If we cannot or would rather not do this, we search for acquaintance, for a closed mouth understanding friend. Perhaps our doctor or psychologist will be the person. It may be one of our own family, but we can not disclose anything to our wives or our parents, which will hurt them and make them unhappy. We have no right to save our own skin at another person's expense. Such parts of our story we tell to someone who will understand, yet be unaffected. The rule is we must be hard on ourselves, but always considerate of others. Notwithstanding the great necessity for discussing ourselves with someone, it may be one is so situated that there is no suitable person available. If that is so, this step may be postponed. Only, however, if we hold ourselves in complete readiness to go through with it at the first opportunity. We say this because we are very anxious that we talk to the right person. It is important that he be able to keep a confidence that he fully understands and approve that we are driving at, that he will not try to change our plan. But we must not use this as a mere excuse to postpone. When we decide who is to hear our story, we waste no time. We have a written inventory and we are prepared for a long talk. We explain to our partner what we are about to do and why we have to do it. He should realize that we are engaged upon a life and death errand. Most people approach in this way. We'll be glad to help. They will be honored by our confidence. We pocket our pride and go to it, illuminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. Once we have taken this step, withholding nothing, we are delighted. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come strongly. We feel we are on the broad highway, walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. Returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour, carefully reviewing what we have done. We thank God for the bottom of our heart, from the bottom of our heart, that we know Him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man at last. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? If we can answer to our satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Are we now ready to let God remove from us all the things which we have admitted are objectionable? Can He now take them all? Every one? If we still cling to something we will not let go, we ask God to help us be willing. When ready, we say something like this: My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray for you now remove from me every single defective character which stands in my way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. We have then completed step 7. Now we need more action, without which we find the faith without works is dead. Let's look at step 8 and 9. We have a list of all persons we have harmed and to whom we are willing to make amends. We made it when we took inventory. We subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal. Now we go out to our fellows and repair the damage done in the past. We attempt to sweep away the debris which has accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. If we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning we would go to any length for victory over alcohol. Probably there are still some misgivings as we look over the list of business acquaintances and friends we have hurt. We may feel different about going to some of them on a spiritual basis. Let us be reassured, to some people we need not, and probably should not, emphasize the spiritual feature on our first approach. Hey, Risa. Thank you for being here. Good evening to you too. Glad you made it. We might prejudice them At the moment, we are trying to put our lives in order, but this is not an end in itself. Our real purpose is just lost my spot again. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be a maximum service to God and the people about us. It is seldom wise to approach an individual who still smarts from our injustice to him. And announce that be called leading with the chin, okay, yeah. And announce that we have gone religious in the prize ring. This would be called looting or leading with the chin. Why lay ourselves open to being branded fantastics or religious bores? We make off our future opportunity to carry a beneficial message, but our man is sure to be impressed with a sincere desire to set right the wrong. He is going to be more interested in a demonstration of goodwill than our talk of spiritual discoveries. We don't use this as an excuse for shying from the subject of God. When it will serve any good purpose, we are willing to announce our convictions with tact and common sense. The question of how to approach the man we hated will arise. It may be he has done us more harm than we have done him, and though we may have acquired a better attitude towards him, we are still not too keen about admitting our faults. Nevertheless, with a person we dislike, we take the bit in our teeth. It is harder to go to an enemy than to a friend, but we find it much more beneficial to us. We go to him in a helpful and forgiving spirit, confessing our former ill feeling and expressing our regret. Under no condition do we criticize such a person or argue. Simply, we tell him that we will never get over drinking until we have done our utmost to straighten out the past. We are there to sweep off our side of the street, realizing that nothing worthwhile can be accomplished until we do so, never trying to tell him what he should do. His faults are not discussed. We stick to our own. And if our manner is calm, frank, and open, we will be gratified with the result. In 9 cases out of 10, the unexpected happens. Sometimes the man we are calling upon admits his own fault. So feuds of years, standing melt away in an hour. Rarely do we fail to make satisfactory progress. Our former enemies sometimes praise what we are doing and wish us well. Occasionally, they will offer assistance. It should not matter. However, if someone does throw us out of his office, we have made our demonstration, done our part. It's water over the dam. Most alcoholics owe money. We do not dodge our creditor. Telling them what we are trying to do, we make no bones about our drinking. They usually know it anyway, whether we think so or not. Nor are we afraid of disclosing our alcoholism on the theory it may cause financial harm. Approached in this way, the most ruthless creditor will sometimes surprise us. Arranging the best deal we can, we let these people know we are sorry. Our drinking has made us slow to pay. We must lose our fear of creditors no matter how far we have to go. For we are liable to drink if we are afraid to face them. Perhaps we have committed a criminal offense, which might land us in jail if it were known to the authorities. We may be short in our accounts and unable to make good. We have already admitted this is in confidence to another person, but we are sure we would be imprisoned or lose our job in it if it were known. Maybe it's only a petty offense, such as padding the expense account. Most of us have done that sort of thing. Maybe we are divorced and have remarried but haven't kept up the alimony to number one. She is indigent about it and has a warrant out for our arrest. That's a common form of trouble too. I think I'm going to stop there. This is a long one. So, we do have to go through all of our defects and make our amends to those such people and creditors and businesses, and even if it is law, you need to do that anyways. Because just because you told somebody, that shouldn't be the only factor of why you would want to go admit your fault to a judge or whatever. Because you're not going to forget about it. It's going to always be there, and it's going to haunt you until you go and say something. And, you do a crime, you need to do your time, basically. And that's the same thing with us alcoholics, because if we don't do our amends, and we have that chance of going back out. And I know for me, I definitely don't want to do that. I've been there, done that, don't want to do it again. And being sober and being aware of the things you do is so much easier than trying to figure out what the heck you did while you were drunk, what you said to so-and-so on the phone, who did you pickpocket, breaking the kid's piggy bank. I mean, all of those. And yeah, I did that. I took change out of my kids' piggy banks. I sure did. Yep. And I don't do it anymore, obviously. But I did. I took money off their bedroom floor. I knew it was there, and I took it anyway. I took it out of their piggy banks, and if it meant I was going to get a drink, that's all that mattered. And it sucks to say that, but it's the truth. That's exactly what it was. I had to have that drink, and everything else didn't matter. And that's the way life is of an alcoholic. And working your program just helps you to become a better person, a better version of yourself being sober and knowing how to live life on the sober side and live it with open mind of how things work and why things go the way they do. And I put it this way, I live life on life's terms. I don't get to pick what everybody else is doing. I don't get to tell other people what they have to do or what they should do. It's not my spot, not my place. I can suggest things, and that's about it. I can't control anybody but me. And that's the thing that you learn going through AA is to live it sober. You have to be able to only control you, nothing else, because nothing else is your issue. It's not your thing to deal with. But I've learned a lot since I got sober. I've seen a lot since I've got sober. I made amends. I still make amends, probably on a daily basis, because I do get irritated with people and things and machines that I shouldn't be irritated at, because obviously it has no feelings. But other than that, since I've been sober, I've gotten to see both of my children graduate. One graduated with a equivalent to a high school diploma. The other one did graduate with a high school diploma and other credits. I have dealt with loss being sober. I think the last person that passed and I drank was my nanny, which was my mom's mom. And that was on a 4th of July. And I got wasted that night. And it should never be an excuse to drink. And I had other family members drink on the same night for the same reason. And when that happened, I was still very, very into having my drinks. Not all the time at that point, but thereafter it came real quick. And I drank for a few years, and I definitely don't miss it. I got to have who I call my daughter. She's my goddaughter, but she's still my daughter. She's 10 years old, and she has never seen me drink, and she never will. Um, and it being sober also helped me use the program to quit smoking. Yes, I had help with taking Chantix to quit smoking, but I have since been off of that for over a year, and I've not smoked a cigarette in March will be 2 years. And I use my AA program on not smoking because it worked to keep me from drinking. So I still crave a cigarette. The smell makes me nauseous, but every now and then, especially when I'm really irritated at something, at work, mostly at work, but I'll get irritated and I'll be like, I really want a cigarette. But then I'm like, no, because if I smoke a cigarette, I might go down the same road my twin did and pick it back up and not quit. And I don't have a choice. I had to quit. I was diagnosed with emphysema like 5-6 years ago, and I almost quit right after that. And then I don't know what happened, but I picked it right back up. And like alcohol, it wasn't starting over. You start right where you left off before. And it's just, I'm glad I quit smoking. I'm glad I quit drinking. And it helps me to, I know how to go about getting out of certain situations. Like if I'm arguing with somebody, I'll leave. I'll be like, see you. I don't want, and it has no spot for me. Or I should say, I don't have any spot for it. I don't know why I said it backwards. But, I mean, drinking is not what it's hyped up to be. I drank as a teenager, and I had already been in bars before I turned 21, so that wasn't exciting. Being 21 and going to the bar, it didn't matter to me. But when I got to the 30s, that's when I was like, yep, here we go. And, but making your amends, I'm still making them from people of my past. And it's not easy being the one to say that this part is my fault and leave it at that. But I do it. I do it for my sanity and to keep myself sober and keep myself accountable. And I have friends that have gone back out, and it's not fun having a friend message and say, hey, I did this, and I slipped, and it's like it happens. not everybody's perfect. Not everybody gets it the first time. And that's why AA is always there. No matter what, anything. And I thought about also going and doing meetings in the women's jail in the facility. But I don't know if I can because I don't know. Don't know. But I do these meetings, number one, because it's something that I got for free. And I think it works. I'm not here to feed you a line of bullshit. This is actually what's worked for me. And it's something that I can do for free. And if I can save at least one person, it's worth it. I'm not ashamed of who I was. I'm not ashamed of where I come from. Because that's part of me, and it's going to be a part of me for the rest of me. I can't change it. I can change the way I act towards it and the way I live life after it. And that's what I'm doing now. And living a life of service right here. And so far, it's been worth it. And I know I'm helping people, and that's a blessing all by itself. So, anyways, I'm going to read the daily reflection. What we know best. Shoemaker, stick to thy last. Better do one thing supremely well than many badly. That is the central theme of this tradition. 5. Around it, our society gathers in unity. The very life of our fellowship requires the preservation of this principle. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 150. The survival of AA depends upon unity. That would happen if a group decided to become an employment agency, a treatment center, or a social service agency. Too much specialization leads to no specialization, to fettering of efforts, and finally to decline. I have the qualifications to share my sufferings and my way of recovery with the newcomer. Formality to AA's primary purpose ensues the safety of the wonderful gift of sobriety. So my responsibility is enormous. The life of millions of alcoholics is closely tied to my acceptance or my competence in carrying the message to the still suffering alcoholic. That's exactly what I was just saying. Exactly. So, anyways, guys, I love y'all. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you guys.